It's according to the US Secretary of State, John Kerry, speaking at a meeting with congressmen. To discuss this change in rhetoric, we're now joined by our Washington correspondent, Gianni Chikian. Gianni, this probably comes as a surprise to many people. What was said?
Surprising and confusing, perhaps. We have this stream of mixed messages coming from the Obama administration. We have top U.S. military officials saying Russia is the biggest threat to the United States.
My assessment today, Senator, is that Russia presents the greatest threat to our national security.
And now, Secretary of State John Kerry, in his latest testimony in Congress, indicates that there may be a different understanding of threats within the administration, or maybe that understanding has evolved.
Do you agree with some of the administration officials that claim that Russia is a greater threat to our national security than is radical Islamic terrorism?
If you wanted me to put on the table the top threat to the United States today in terms of day-to-day life and the stability of the world, it is violent extremism, radical religious extremism.
Secretary Kerry also went as far as to challenge the notion that Russia undermines U.S. foreign policy. Take a listen.
How did this administration so misread Putin? Let's face it, Putin's been undermining U.S. policy at every turn.
If you look, Russia's cooperated with the United States on the Iran agreement. Russia cooperated with the United States in getting the chemical weapons that were declared out of Syria. Russia has cooperated with the United States and the Syria International Support Group and the Vienna process, and now in an effort to try to fight against Daesh.
This was an interesting, perhaps unexpected pushback against those in Congress who have very hawkish views on Russia. But then at the same time, and I mean literally at the same time as Secretary Kerry talked about cooperation with Russia, top military officials were telling another congressional committee how there is no cooperation with Russia.
What we now have is clearly not a partner in Russia.
As far as Syria was concerned, Defense Secretary Ash Carter said the U.S. could not associate itself with Russia in any way other than to try to avoid a direct confrontation between the two militaries. So you have, on the one hand, Secretary Kerry, who is seemingly willing and eager to cooperate with Russia, and on the other, top military officials saying they don't want anything to do with Russia and that Russia is the biggest threat. Well, if Washington's rhetoric and policies toward Russia leave you a bit confused, you are not alone.
Yeah, I think I'm one of